AITA for asking my daughter not to have sex while staying at our home. My wife and I, late 50s M and F, have 4 grown kids. One of our middle kids, 26F, and her husband, 20-something M, are in the process of buying their second house. Their first one sold quickly and the new owners offered extra for a quick possession. They don't get possession of their new place until January 1st. They had to leave their place November 1st. They had planned on getting an Airbnb, but my wife and I have an apartment over our garage and offered them that space. Things had been going really well. They both work, so they went about life. My wife loves to cook for more than one person, so they've been eating dinner with us most nights. That part has been wonderful. It's been so nice having my daughter around in the evenings. The other night after they had gone back to the apartment, I went to get something from the garage. The apartment can be accessed from the outside and the inside. There is a staircase inside the garage, and only an interior door separating the garage from the apartment. I could hear them, very obviously having sex. I felt it was a bit disrespectful to be having sex when they are staying with her parents. I thought I had raised her better than that. I told my wife, and she laughed. She said, and I quote, "Good for them." I couldn't let it go. So the next night at dinner I brought up how disrespectful we find it for them to be having sex in our home. My wife did not back me up. She made sure to tell them it wasn't we, but only me who felt that way. My daughter and her husband excused themselves from the meal. I expected an apology, but instead they moved out the next day. My wife says they are a married couple, and aren't even in our house. That I was in awe. But in my mind they are staying in an apartment on our property. They could at least abstain until they don't live with us. I would never dream of disrespecting my parents having sex in their house. AITA? Out of respect for your daughter and her husband's comfort, will you be foregoing sex for the next 2 months? It would be incredibly traumatic if they were to overhear. You know, YTA. Info. How is that disrespectful? YTA. You were kind and generous to offer them a place to stay. However, they had other options. You said it yourself. They chose to accept your kind offer even though they wouldn't have been homeless if they didn't. They are married. They are adults. And especially adult enough to be homeowners multiple times over in their mid-20s. They seem to have good heads on their shoulders, and you're complaining that your mature, successful daughter and her husband, who you have no clue how old he is, that's strange, are doing the thing that not only is what married adult people are known to do, but you don't even listen to your own wife when she says it's not a big deal. You sound like a 1920s fedora-wearing breadwinner. Grow up. Edit. I just read it again and they aren't even in the house. They're in an apartment connected to the house. Even more of the awe. Get it together. YTA. They are married. Aren't in your house. You didn't lay this expectation of respect out before they moved in. The list can go on. They don't owe you an apology. It seems like your wife gets it, but you come across as a huge prude. Bait? YTA. You don't even know how old your son-in-law is. They weren't even in your house. Good on your wife for not sticking by your ridiculous statement. YTA. Guess what? Adults have sex. She's not a child anymore. And the way that you are trying to impose your beliefs on her body is kind of sickening. The only reason you heard them is because you were too cheap to use an exterior door on the entry to the garage. YTA. Holy God, are you the awe? They are married adults who were in an entirely different building than you. How in the world is a married couple doing anything together, disrespectful to anyone? WTF? This is honestly creepy of you. Everyone clutch your pearls, a married couple is having relations. YTA. ETA. Thank you for the award. YTA. If this isn't bait, you have really toxic views on sex. YTA. They are married grown adults. They had planned to get an Airbnb where they could have all the sex they want. Y'all offered to let them stay in the apartment. Did you just think they'd stop being sexually active? Your expectations are beyond overbearing and controlling. They borderline creepy. YTA for claiming it was a we problem when it was really just a you problem. I thibble. It is disrespectful to lie to your grown kids. You brought it up to your wife. She was fine with it, and when you confronted your daughter about it, you made sure you said we, including your wife in it. YTA. YTA seriously? I am not surprised they moved out. How creepy for them to think you were listening and judging. And you want them to apologize? You have very weird hang-ups. I thought I had raised her better than that. Better than what? She is 26 and married. You are being ridiculous, and yes. YTA. Another post I find hard to believe it's real. Of course YTA. How could you even bring this up? Especially at the dinner table? So incredibly weird. YTA. First, learn your son-in-law's age. Want to talk about disrespect? Not knowing your son's age is disrespectful. Second, realize your daughter's age. She's an adult who is allowed to have sex if she wants. She did not have sex in the main house, so it's not even like you have to deal with it. Third, why bring it up over dinner? If you have a problem, just pull your daughter aside without making a scene about it and trying to rope your wife into backing you up. 1000% YTA. YTA. Holy cats. They're adults, married, and staying in an entirely separate building than you? You Puritans really need to get a life. I hope that they enjoy themselves in their new place. And that you learn that people will have sex, whether you like it or not. Good luck if that night actually produced a grandchild for you. Now you'll have to know that your precious daughter got knocked up while you were blowing a gasket. Because she was having a good time. Seems like there's a little more to this. Could it be you just don't like the idea of your daughter, a grown and married adult, having sex? You don't get to control what they do in their personal, temporary space. YTA for your old-fashioned views. YTA for trying to drag your wife into it even though she clearly said she didn't have a problem with it. YTA for not knowing the age of your son-in-law. You can't even be bothered to find out how old your son-in-law actually is. You're beyond prudish. Absolute YTA.
If you enjoyed this video, please check out our playlists full of similar content. AmITheAsshole is like doom scrolling for your ears. Please like, share, and subscribe.